Okay, let's get going here. It's 6-5. The video is number 122, and it's another problem where the object is to factor this quadratic trinomial. Again, the highest degree is 2, the middle term is -8, and the final term is 12. So to get this stuff out so you can see what we're doing here, we will again look at the final term and the middle term. So let's contrast that immediately. Before, we factored x squared plus 7x plus 12. And we saw that we broke it up into 4 plus 3, and 4 times 3 equals 12. So now I'm going to erase that. We have to do the same thing, except there's a difference. The middle term is what? Negative. So you should look at that. And that's how you really play the game. So the first example I'll erase, and the next example, and so then this next example, we'll take a look at what we have to do. So 12 is positive, and the 8 is negative. I have to break this up with numbers so that the way I break this up, product of this, multiplying these two, equals 12. So usually the way kids do it, and I told you before, this will change soon, that 1 times 12 is 12, that there's a 1 here. In fact, I'll put it in this time just to make sure the ideas are clear, because that's what's coming down the road. And, well, what works? Only a negative times a negative equals a positive, and at the same time a negative and a negative, or a negative plus a negative equals negative. So I can't multiply two positive terms together. All I can do, and I do it over here, is multiply negative terms. Okay? And let's see, negative 6 times negative 2 works. And finally, negative 4 times negative 3 works. So there I am. I can't really think of anything else that works. Negative 3, negative 2. I could have written it in any order. We talked about that. These are all the possibilities. Only the product of these plus what they equal is going to add up to negative 8. And we box this off because this is the obvious candidate. Negative 6 times negative 2 equals positive 12. Negative 6 plus negative 2 equals negative 8. Why don't the others work? Well, negative 1 times negative 12 is 12, but when you add them together, you get negative 13, and using the same reasoning, you get negative 7. So these two choices are rejected. Remember, I left that out last time. And this is the choice that works. If I can't do this, I repeat again, if I can't do this, then it's not factorable. That's a really important point to make early on in the math that we're doing. So let's go back. I'll drop the 1 now. I'm putting this here for a reason. Like I said, as I go down here, and I'm going to break this up. In any order, I said, right? And so I'll pause here, because now I didn't do it. I just did it for the first time. And again, why did I choose negative 2 and negative 6? Because negative 2 times negative 6 equals 12. And at the same time, I could break this up into 2 little parts here. I'm just going to put it like that. Okay? And now I'm going to see if one binomial factors everybody. And again, like I mentioned before, this is called grouping. So I factor this. Have to know how to do that in high school. Don't tell me, that's a big problem for you. You have to do that in high school. And then over here, I'm going to pick out the negative 6. And then this has to be there. Otherwise, I made a mistake or it's not factorable. Okay? So let's do it. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is negative 2x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6, and then negative 2. So I just rewrote this. But the x and the negative 6 are connected with the same factor, so in any order, I factored it. And I'm not going to FOIL this or check it now. I went from here to here. This is the answer for this. In this case, the middle term was negative. You'll have to look at that. And now to make sure that we're taking our time and doing this in the proper way, I'm going to rewrite this again, and this time, after I rewrite this, x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 12, it's really important to notice that this business of separate them doesn't matter the order that you put them in. It always works. There might be occasions where it's easier to do it one way, more intuitive, but this is going to work. Okay? And this has to be the same thing. So this is what I did last time. And this is what you'll end up doing when the problems are a little more complicated. Okay? So what has to go here to reproduce this? A negative 2. This either works or it doesn't work, but negative 2 times 6 is 12. So there I did it the other way around. I changed the order, but it really is totally meaningless, since this times this equals this times this. And there it is again, done both ways. So there's a problem where the middle term was negative. We should think about what I did, and let me put it so you can see everything going back. How I chose negative 2 and negative 6 and no one else. And if I couldn't find a pair that adds up to this and at the same time multiplies out to this, then we agree it's not factorable. I'm not going to get into cases like that now. And then over here in the corner, I wrote out pairs that work, dual pairs, because we have to add these together. And that when I added up the other factors of positive 12 by 2 negatives, I got numbers that didn't match the middle one. So there's the best I can explain it. We'll do another example when we get a chance.